So I'm a huge fan of turn-based tactical RPGs, especially those that use the traditional grid-based movement system. Well, recently, Nintendo released a remake of their classic Advanced Wars 1 and 2, the Reboot Camp. I've had a good chance to play quite a lot of the first game, and so this review is going to be basically based on the first one because I don't want to ruin anything. Before we get into that though, I do want to tell you guys something. You gotta be paying attention to all the creators in our little community here, Good Talk HQ, Xploring Game Pass, In the Mix Gaming, One Crummy Gamer, Digital Game Room, and there are a few others that I'm missing and I apologize. But I just want to say you gotta pay attention to these guys because every now and then they'll throw a live stream on and it is so much fun to just kind of check out and listen. In fact, I've got a really funny story about what happened yesterday during Exploring Game Pass's big live stream, but I will talk about that later on towards the end of this video. But I will say, man, you just feel like a rock star. I ended up watching the live stream. At the beginning, I was kind of around a bunch of my friends and family, just all hanging out, and I decided to put on the stream, and everyone yelling my name and everything. It meant so much to me, and especially because it was around a lot of people, and that reaction from my friends and family where they're like, oh, you're actually doing something, aren't you? And so, yeah, it was just really cool. But anyway, on to Advanced Wars Reboot Camp. Again, I'm going to focus mainly on the first game, the story, the mechanics, all of that, and then at a later date, I will do a review of the second game, but I want to give everyone a chance to be able to play it and, not have any spoilers ruined for them. You play as a rookie CO named Andy. In the region he's at has just been invaded by the Blue Moon Army. They are led by Olaf, who is basically a veteran warrior and knows exactly how to command his army. Of course, though, you have this innate ability to fight him off, and you're given help by your commanding CO, Nell, who basically runs the tutorials for you. You learn that there's a lot of history between the Orange Army and the Blue Moon Army. Essentially, though, they have been at war for decades. Over what? I'm not really sure. Because they don't really go into it. Is it resources? Is it land? Is it pride? Who knows? But they have this very love-hate relationship where they're kind of friends at the same time. Like, they don't actually actively want to kill each other. And I gotta be honest, that in a way kind of ruins it. There's a little intensity that's missing from the game that really doesn't feel like you're on the brink of death or the brink of, serious punishment. You don't go into it saying, this is my rival and I want to take him down. You're like, oh, well, this guy's actually pretty cool, and this is just more like a scrimmage. And every battle in this game kind of feels like that because of that Nintendo lighthearted mood. Now, if you're into that, that's cool. And I think a number of people who are beginners to the genre will actually appreciate that. But honestly, for me, I just didn't really feel like I had to take it that serious. I didn't have to really worry about planning or tactics or anything like that. It's pretty much just head-to-head combat with surface-level tactics. Ultimately, even the mechanics in the game play more into that. There's not combos, there aren't any pre-planning bonuses that you get, setting up certain units to basically work off of each other or to work in tandem. Much of an environmental element to it. There is a little bit, but it literally doesn't make that much a difference. So by 1 or 2 points per attack is all it makes. And just about all of the battles that I engaged in really just felt like a race. Who could take down the other's headquarters or conquer it the quickest is who wins. And that's the name of the game. You could easily send one of your troops in a carrier vehicle all the way to the end. As long as you hold the enemy's attention away from that, you can pretty much win pretty easily. And that really shows one of the biggest negatives for me in this game, and that's the AI. The AI does not work how you think it should. It's very basic, meaning they could have you on the ropes and then they'll just turn around to go heal themselves, allowing you to heal yourself. But if they would have stayed in for one more attack, they would have killed you and then been able to return to heal themselves. It's the same thing with their headquarters. They don't fortify it. There's not a lot of units just waiting for you to come and attack it, defending it as you would, as this last stop kind of thing. That's how you can easily send one of your ground troops over there to go capture it. If you do this midway through the battle, none of their units are waiting back there. None of them are expecting any sort of tactic like this, which is very basic, Maybe I'm asking too much out of it. Maybe I want it to be more than what it is, but there's just some surface level stuff even that aren't there. Like I said, things like combos. That's far from new. Like Final Fantasy Tactics A2 had that in there. Or even like caustic ammo, which will degrade the defense of an enemy. Things like that would have been pretty easy to put in here. Now, again, this is the first game, so maybe that's it. I do expect a remake, though, to maybe think about this stuff and add some of this into it. It feels like to me they just put a fresh new coat of paint over it. And even that, I've been told, it doesn't look that much better than the original. But I will say, in lieu of smoke grenades, incendiary ammo, or cover fire, or anything like that, each CO does have like a superpower. Andy can heal up all of his units, Max will make his tanks more powerful, Sammy will make her troops more powerful, Olaf can call a blizzard. There's a lot of different opportunities for those kind of moves to be utilized, but that's actually about it, and it being kind of a one-trick pony. You don't get to change your powers or anything like that. I also think like elite troops or troops that you could kind of get attached to, you know, like a tank that has just been with you his entire time, but he's like a badass, something like that would be a great addition. So for me, as a strategist, this game doesn't really live up to anything. But as an actual game, it's pretty chill. Like, it's enjoyable, it's fun, it's kind of interesting to hear the story. I actually do like the artwork, even though it's kind of cutesy, but it's relaxing. Like I said, it's like chill. And when I compare that to other strategy RPG games, yeah, it definitely doesn't live up to that. But at the same time, all of those are very stressful, very intense. And yes, I do appreciate that and enjoy it. For me, it really just makes it feel like there's something on the line. That's where this doesn't feel that way, but I can appreciate it for what it is. And I do enjoy, like I said, the aesthetics and even actually using like militaristic vehicles, which is something new to the Switch. There's not a lot of games that actually use that as a vehicle for war. You know, a lot of times it's just individuals with weapons, and this does kind of add a new layer to that. I would like to see it expanded upon, and like I said, this is only the first game. We'll see what happens later on, but I will say too that this is also nice because I could play it with my son. It was simple enough that he could understand it and play it, and I think that's really where this game is at. It's a really good game to be able to play with like family or friends who aren't maybe versed in the tactical RPGs, and it's just a little variety, which are typical like two-player couch co-op games, you know, like fighting games and racing games. I do like that aspect of it, and in fact I really enjoy that because that means that when I'm playing with my friends and family, I can suggest we play this instead of it always just being, you know, fighting or racing. Now, as far as a single-player experience, I have to say the first game has a lot to be lacking, but there is a story turn that does happen. I don't want to ruin it for anybody. That does make it a little bit more interesting, nearing towards the end. The middle towards the end part is where it does start to actually kind of pick up in some of that intensity. Ultimately, though, if I was going to give it a grade just based on the first game, I would give it a 6 out of 10, but remember, that's not where this sits, because next week I'm going to do a review of the second game, and that'll be the final score. And I do have to say, like, one of my favorite parts of this was actually unlocking other items. So when you finish a battle, you're given a certain amount of money, depending on how well you did. But you can then take that money to the main menu, where you can unlock, you know, certain songs or themes or maps, which is really cool, because there's a plethora of maps you can unlock, but you can also unlock other COs, which is also awesome. And that really adds to like a multiplayer experience more so than like a single player story. And so for me, as a single player experience, it's actually about a 4 out of 10, but then as a multiplayer, it's about a 7 out of 10. So I just kind of combined those, giving it a little bit more boost, because I do think even 5 out of 10 is too low for it, but I will give a final score next week when I do a review of the second game. So I want to tell you guys this story real quick. Yesterday when I was watching the stream on Xploring Game Pass's channel, and all the other creators were on there, and it was awesome. And I say this all the time. I want to be more active in the community. I want to be more active on social media. I want to be, you know, more present for things like this. But this is exactly why I'm not. So during the stream, my daughter comes up to me and I have to go potty. Okay, well, she's been having a lot of problems going number 2. There's been some real issues here. She's 2, so, you know, I brought the phone with me, went to the bathroom, and had her on her seat. Well, then she wanted a bath. I'm like, okay, fine. You know, nothing happened. Put her in the bath. I have the second faucet, or the second shower head, which is about her level, turned on, and that was it. So I could kind of close it. Still check out the stream while she's completely safe. I'm like literally 5 feet away from her, and she got to enjoy a bath after I washed her hair and all that good stuff. And then she's in there enjoying the water and coloring in the shower, and I went back to the stream. Lo and behold, it was just a couple of minutes, and I gotta poop. And so I opened it up, got her, grabbed her, walked over to the potty chair, put her on the potty, and waited for a few minutes and nothing. So she went to go back into the shower, picked her up. About halfway through, she started to poop. And let me tell you, I have the experience here of like what I think some people would have when holding a live grenade. Like, do I throw it? Do I jump on it? What do I do? Ultimately, I'm thinking, okay, well, I can just throw her in the shower. This is going to be, I could wash it off that way. But then I'm like, well, I don't want poop in my shower. Like, it's a solid log. I don't want to be gross, but who wants that in your shower? And I'm like, okay, but if I take her back to the toilet, I have to walk all the way across the floor, and she is, and I hate using this word, dripping. Like, this is mid poop, and it's a lot. Now, needless to say, I actually did end up taking her back to the toilet and just Cloroxing and everything the floor, and then giving her a shower and cleaning the shower. It's a whole thing, but this is my whole point. This is what I deal with on a daily basis. And that's why I'm not as active as I want to be, but I definitely want to be. But I just had to tell you guys a story because it was a perfect example of why I'm not like on social and why I'm not as present as I would like to be. But anyway, yeah, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thanks for hanging out and listening to the story. I know not everyone wants to hear about, toddler poop, but I just figured, insight to my life, Anyway, I appreciate you guys. Let me know what your thoughts are on the game, or if there's any games you're interested in checking out, or any games you just want to tell me about. Anything and everything down in the comment section is so appreciated. I love all of you guys. You are all so amazing. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.